Hello and welcome to Tabletop 24. I'm Alan and welcome to another episode of We'll Play Again, where we take a look at games that we've gotten to the table recently, with a focus on how quick we can get them back to the table. With ever-growing collections and time that could be precious, we answer the question, would play again? Now, as you can see, I'm without John and Brian again today, because we are looking at another solo game, and that is Deep Space D6. So this is from Tower Leader Games, designed by Tony Go. It's a little bit of an older game, but it has had a lot of merit in the solo arena. This you're essentially on a ship that is traveling through space, and will have to deal with the threat deck and deal with all the threats that come your way that may interact with you, dependent upon dice rolls. That you will then be rolling your dice to assign your crew to fight back against everything that's coming at you. It was originally a Kickstarter, and you may be aware that Tower Leader Games has done Deep Space D6 Armada, and also they're all soon to be coming out with the role-playing game, the solo one as well. Fortunately, I've been trying to get hold of Armada, but due to that issues with the Kickstarter, I haven't been able to get that here. And the role-playing game has just been put back again. Unfortunately, Tony wants to put out a really good product for it, and I'm hoping that that will be coming in the near future. But obviously today we're focusing on the solo game Deep Space D6. In the box that I picked up, you get 4 ships, and it's up to you which ship you choose. Each ship has its own merits, its own difficulty, and its own benefits. Base ship is the Halcyon, and that has average shields, good hull. It's going to keep you alive a little bit longer. It might take you a little bit longer to get through everything, but it's good for you there. On a round, you will be rolling your dice and assigning your crew, and that's not really good for us at the moment. So this one, for instance, we'll be able to turn that into a laser. We're going to add another fire lasers, so another tactical. We'll repair our shields if we could, but I'll tell you what we're going to use. We're going to use a stasis beam on that interceptor, because it's going to be quite painful for us. And then we are going to do another stasis beam on this assault cruiser, because it's got 4 health. And we've got a dice there that we can't really place. We'll be dealing some damage. Then we will be drawing more threats. If we had rolled scanner icons, 3 of those on this ship, 2 on others, will generate more of these cards. We've pulled out a general threat of a pandemic, and we would need to apply a scientist or a medic to that card to get rid of it. We would then roll the dice, the threat dice, and then enact anything that has that dice on it. Now, lucky for us, we put this stasis beam on the interceptor, and that's not going to be coming to get us, so that is great. We then pick up all of our dice that we're able to, and we go again. Then we keep going until we've got through the threat deck, or until we've lost all of our hull and unfortunately have been destroyed. I've played this quite a few times now. It's always a pleasure to play. It's very small. It's got such a nice footprint. Like I say, you've got the 3 extra ships, so you've got 4 in total. The cards you've got out in front of me, it's a nice size solo game. Some solo games you can still be sprawling across the table, but this one's quite nice and tidy and compact. I think the artwork in it, some may call basic, but I think it's really nice. It's not trying too hard. It's still thematic. You've got some nice background art on some of the cards. It's just enough. I'm not, on my solo games, for quick solo games, I'm not looking for that immersive experience. I want something that's going to make me think, something that's going to challenge my decisions, and give me a satisfying experience within a short period of time, which I think this game does. It looks at a lot of different elements. You've got a little bit of luck on the dice roll, but you can manage that. You've got a little bit of luck on the cards that you're pulling out of the deck, and then it's what you're managing to do that. Some plays, you just have the luck of the deck that's falling for you. Other plays, you just gonna get battered. I lost my last game due to a meteor exploding at the wrong time. Now, that can happen, and that is the nature of this game. But there's enough here to challenge my decision making to try and force against that luck. For instance, here we've got the interceptor. Now I have to destroy that, or I have to put a stasis on it to do something to stop it reacting. It's only not going to react if I roll a 6. So if I'm rolling a 4, all 3 of these are active. So 1 in 6 chance. It could happen. Might not. So you really got to watch what you've got and play the odds a little bit there. And yes, sometimes the odds can get you, but most of the time, if you're playing them well, you should be done. Talk about variety. And variety, there's not much variety in the threat deck because the threat deck remains the same every game. You can take out some of the don't panic cards that don't do anything, but the deck itself remains the same. You do shuffle it, but you are going to see the same cards every game. So if you know that the meter hasn't showed up, you know that's going to come. You know what you might need to do to try and prepare for it. But you do have the 4 different ships, and they interact very differently. The units will be doing slightly different things, and the interaction with how they interact with the threat deck and the threats on the board are very different. And like I said, there's that bit of different challenge, a bit of variability there. But on my side of games, I'm not necessarily looking for that variability. I'm looking for a good experience, and I think here there's just enough. I'd maybe like a little bit more, but here I think it is just enough. And again, if they start then coming out with extras, how are you going to fit it in such a small box? And this is a nice little magnetic release box I'll put an insert into, but it's just the right footprint, it's just the right size in a box, and I think that goes really well for it. Yes, you have luck, and unfortunately, the luck's not always on your side, and you will feel hard done by at that point. Now, if that's not for you, the game's not for you. If you want a purely strategic, this is what I'm doing, this isn't the solo game for you. But it adds just enough. And there's the theme in here, although it's not immersive. Oh, this interceptor needs to deal with, because if not, it's just going to keep hitting me and hitting me and hitting me. So there's just enough theme here that I think brings out a lot in the game. I'd like to see a few more cards, or at least a structure in the threat deck to be able to give that little bit of variability. But I think other than that, it's great. Component quality is great. Cards are nice. The boards are really nice. There's a nice bit of extra to it. It's not trying to be something it's not. And with that said, it's lovely. It's really nice. It's really compact, and it gives you enough of a challenge. Like I said before, if you are not looking for a dice chucker or you want to be mitigating your luck some way, this is not the game. You will get trodden on because of luck, but in the same token, you really can try and fight against that. And it gives you enough of a challenge, and you're not winning every game, which I think makes me want to come back to this. The game time, it is fairly short. It hits that nice half an hour mark for a solo game, and I think it doesn't overstay its welcome at that. Quite often when I get this out, it won't be just the one game, and because it's out, you just shuffle the deck and go again. And you can, if you want to, you could save your progress. So the insert I've got, I can put the cards in 2 different places, and you could make a note of where your health was. But it is so short that I don't think you'd be doing that, and I think you would be looking to really get the benefit out of the cards. It does have an end game, so as you slowly go through, there's 6 of these cards, which I think there are Ouroboros, and when they come out, you can either play a couple of different variants. Either when they come out, you can deal with them all at once, or when they come out, or you can wait and just deal with them at the end, and they're the boss. And they provide a different type of challenge to get you through. So I really like this game. I'm glad it's got a universe. I'm glad that D6 Armada exists. I want to get my hands on that to try that out. It does this, as far as I understand, it does this, but more. I'm looking forward to the solo role-playing game when that gets released, and hopefully that'll be back for another one of these. So answering the question of would play again, yes, I would. I would play it again. I don't think at this point it's got what I want to get it back to the table again and again. But when I do get it, I'm playing 2 or 3 games of it at a time, just purely on the basis that sometimes you can get bombarded with bad luck, but other times it's a nice experience, and you'll want to go again and give yourself a bit of a challenge and see what combinations you can come up with threats that you're going to deal with them. So I think, like I say, it's a would play game for me. I would recommend it as a nice solo experience. As a pure solo game, it's one that I would definitely recommend. So, thanks for joining us for this episode of Would Play Again. I hope you like what we've covered on some of these solo games recently. Let us know in the comments if you want to see more solo, less solo. We will hopefully be getting back to a few more of our bigger games with our shooting schedule allowing. Check out other videos on the channel, give us a like and a subscribe, and we will catch you next time. Take care.